Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things that nobody dare say. Isn't that right? Thought we'd give a big old shout out to Ingram Jones. There's an old picture there of me and Ingram. I think he's about 6 year old, that 6, 7 year old, I think, from back in the day. Back in the day on I think it's a Sheedy against Liam Cameron, is it? Some years ago, that in it, 2017, is it? Something like that. But 2018, I think it's 17. Long time ago. That Ingram's still going strong. Give him a follow up. It's BWT TV, is it? Or Bayloric TV. He's plodding on. Ingram, good boxing man. Ingram used to do PR stuff for Dennis. And back in the day. Right. People keep emailing me. This Ask Porky thing's taking on a new life of its own. We're going to answer so many questions, and we don't answer vile ones or daft ones, but people keep asking me if Big Ron's going to get the White Rhino to retire. No, he won't. Promoters don't get anybody to retire, do they? You know, if the fighter turns around to a promoter and says, you know what, I'm hanging up my gloves, the promoter will say, you know what, I want him to hang up his gloves. But if, because, you know, he's come to the end of his career and he's not left in tank. But 2 years later, if that fighter turns around and says, yeah, I've got something left in tank, I'm ready for another run at it, that promoter will come out saying he's stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet, and you know he's training smarter now and eating kangaroo meat and doing all things that you do when you get to your mid-30s or in your 30s. You know, that retirement age kind of thing. You know, then you'll hear certain words around that person. You know, like you're probably going to hear in Liam Smith's next fight. You'll be hearing words like durable. You know, and rough, tough, rugged, and all action, and you know, he suffers no nonsense. He's a no nonsense sort of fighter, and he's a good all rounder and a veteran, and you know all that kind of stuff. That's what happens in the sport of boxing. But hey ho! But do I think that White Rhino should retire? Yeah, I do. I mentioned it in quite a few videos now. Well, I think Dennis will retire him. No, I won't. Dennis is not going to retire him. Not at 31. Not on your Nelly. He's got 2 fights left with Big Ron, so I see him having them 2 fights. Whether they're going to be 2 quick knockover fights so he can get away from him, or whether Big Ron's going to say, no, I ain't got any knockover fights for you, which I don't think he will have. He'll be fighting on other shows and getting Big Ron a slice of the cake for not putting his hand in your pocket. And you can't blame Big Ron really when he's used to losing 10, 15 bags on a show in Sheffield. It's nice for him to get a few bags out at job, and it evens it out for the ones he loses it, doesn't he, really? But who is Big Ron signing? There's a lot of, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. What are they doing? What are they messing about at up there? Do they know what they're doing? Or is it just winging it? Are they just winging it? I don't know, but Tommy Frank's been cashed in now. He's all smashed up. Dave's been smashed up a long time. He's 2 fights left. So he'll still keep going, but he's had 121 rounds, Dave Allen. Oh, Muhammad Ali's probably had more than 5 times. No, Muhammad Ali. Did Muhammad Ali have 560 rounds? Did he? Well, Dave Allen's had 121 rounds, and look how he's speaking here. So he can't go out at way of punches, can he? Really? Well, he can't, can he? If he's talking like that, his style's not made for whatever he's been fighting. I mean, how many trainers has he had? He's had over 10 trainers, hasn't he? Muhammad Ali, 548 rounds. Dave Allen, 121. So 121 times 5 is 600. So Muhammad Ali's had 5.5 times the rounds Dave Allen's had. 5.5 times the rounds. But look where they were at 31-year-old in the careers. Ali had been 2 years into his comeback. Look at Dave Allen where he is in his career. And Ali had a lot more fights than Dave Allen by that stage and a lot more rounds. But his style allows him to move his head. And his style also allows him to land blows. That's because he goes to the gym and trains. So, in my opinion, any promoter putting Dave Allen in a ring from now on, just because he's passed a medical, don't mean to say he's fit, does it? And don't mean to say they've got his best interests at heart. We're hearing stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet, training smarter, eating kangaroo meat with cabbage. That's what we're hearing. But what we're getting, KFC sliders and fish and chips. That's what we're getting, aren't we? Greasy sliders, sliding on floor in chip shop. We're not getting what we want, are we? People are just saying anything now to get on a show. And I think what's happening is people are mixing up. People are mixing up professional fights and how they're going into them with these gimmicky fights, misfitty fights and YouTubey fights, aren't we? We've got trainers who are training professional fighters and managing professional fighters and hanging around professional fighters, mixing with these gimmicky misfit sort of people, and it's all become a bit like slightly, just slightly at the moment, blended in. That's how I'm looking at it from outside looking in. It's all become a bit blended in. That's what's going on here. And people can turn away, put their head in the sand and say, no, that's not happening on my shift. Let me tell you, it's happening. And these YouTubers, they're going from strength to strength. They're doing their own drinks. They're doing it proper, not like that Furiosity load of rubbish that lot are trying to sell. These are doing it proper with that Prime. They're marketing it properly because they're on the ball and they're switched on. You know, they're putting people in positions of power that know what they're on with. For example, I was looking at some other day, them Paul brothers, they have guys on like mega dough in positions of power at all these different things that they're doing and KSI. And whereas you look at, people in boxing having positions of power, they just have the pals. It's me pal, he can sort it. He does a bit of this and a bit of that. He's an all-rounder. But they're not experts in their fields. And this is what happens in the sport of boxing. They've come on and they've got good matchmakers, good promoters, good advisors. Good. They have like what's known as an agent acting for a certain person who's working in a certain country. For example, if Jake Paul wanted to fly somebody over to UK to fight in Sheffield and he couldn't come over on the night to make sure his fighter and trainer and their manager were all okay, they'd employ an agent to look after him and make sure that they did a chaperone and that did everything for them, wouldn't we? But I don't see any of that happening with a lot of things that go on in sport of boxing. But these people are doing it properly. They're paying out money and they're getting people looked after, even when they're fighting in other countries. They're paying them good money and they're paying them on night. Yeah, you get paid on night at Matchroom, but not everybody gets paid on the night in the sport of boxing. Usually it's the week after. It's definitely not always the Monday. I can assure you of that. Even for small hall shows. Even when it should have been paid on the night. But who's going to want to complain and be known as a grass? Eh? Nobody's going to be known as a graft at board, going to the manager and saying, oh, report these to Robert Smith, they're dragging me money out. Nobody wants to be known as that, do they? But sometimes when you're getting checks bounced left, right, and centre, you've got to go through proper procedures, haven't you? But it's very rare that that happens. But in answer to the question, do I think that Big Ron will park White Rhino up? No, he will not. Not on your dear life. Not when he's got 2 fights left. Dennis will want 2 more bites at the cherry. Even though he doesn't need the money, it's about winning in his head. Understand this about promoters. The money means nothing. It probably stays in an envelope in their inside pocket for a month in the wardrobe, I can assure you. They will not want to get that money out the next day and pay bills like the rest of us. It's just in the pocket. It's just about winning. It ain't about the money. So forget the money. It's about winning and going up against other promoters or other rivals who they've all had beef with all these years. That's why no can get done. It's the same old people in the same old sport of boxing. Well, it isn't UK, innit? We've got Warrants, Earns, Hobsons, Hennessy's, Furies, all been going at it years, haven't they? And all still going to go at it. Bullcrofts, all of them. Steve Wood, the lot. Steve Goodwin, Carl Greaves, Neil Marsh, all of it. They're all best mates on a Monday. All can't stand each other on a Tuesday. It's all about who's getting paid most or who's winning. So don't take it personally. All right. But Dave Allen needs to retire. He's been blowing bubbles 5 years now. And he's just going to continue to be even blowing more bubbles. So any promoter, in my opinion, that puts him on hasn't got his best interests at heart. Same with Chisora. These two are disasters waiting to happen on our watch. Well, they're going to watch them. Keep watching them and watch what happens. Okay. So peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment on the channel and actually sharing videos with all your pals on WhatsApp. It's nice that when you're sharing them, because it means that we're spreading the pork word, aren't we? Because there's only really me in the tackling this lot, isn't there? Who's really tackling it like I'm tackling it? You get these ones that are going to pop up once a week doing odd video, aren't you? But who's tackling them like me head on? Nobody. Nobody's got the knackers to do what I'm doing. Nobody. All right? Go on, pop, pop, bang. Thanks for subscribing. Booyaka!